So I'm architect Jiddu Bulatao. I studied in UP Diliman. I have actually been in Locsin since 2009. Uh, so right after my first apprenticeship year, I shifted here, and I've been pretty much with the company ever since. I'm an associate in the firm. Yes, I think we found out about the rehabilitation sometime in 2022 already. What we didn't know at the time was they had started conducting their audits as early as 2019. So CCP, rightly so, had seen its building, had expressed concern over the deterioration and damage over time. And they had commissioned DWSD to make a survey, a preliminary survey. DWSD recommends that they take on a private company to do a formal audit. And parents in that audit, they found out that there were quite a number of things that were already problematic, given that it's a building from 1969, given that it's not been maintained as well as it could be. So since 2022, we actually went through a long process of contracting this, where we would do different scales of engagement with them. Right now, we're coming in as sort of a second consultant team to the first consultant team. The first consulting team, who is AC Ong, had with it scope of work the audits, running everything from architectural through the MEPs. And then how it was contracted with them was they would also have the design in that package, in that scope. So when we came in, they were initially eyeing us to guide the works for the public performance and rehearsal spaces, because these were the areas that were public facing, as well as technically they would need to function very specifically. So part of our engagement there was to have sub-consultants with the expertise to sort of handle the theater requirements, the acoustical requirements, on top of reviewing how the previous design was conceptualized, so how it would affect the rest of the spaces as well. When it was contracted, that was also the time when architect Locsin was retiring. So given that I have had work experience with CCP, so it did just naturally become the case where it would be my project to take in that sense. Oh, architect Raul Locsin. Architect Raul's projects really ran from institutional through to old projects like CCP and PICC. So if it's something with those two or something with LaSalle, he would be the touch person. He would be the person handling those types of projects. I was working with architect Locsin, architect Raul, for those projects. So naturally, those are my contacts and my parang sort of the people that I'm used to working with as well. They're used to working with me, so I become the sort of bridge to those types of those projects. It's a mixed reaction, of course. Having worked with large-scale renovations before, you know how difficult it's going to be. At the same time, you know that it's a project that has to be done, and it has to be done right. So it's one of those things where it's almost your duty to the firm, to the practice, to the country, to make sure that it gets done properly. It's just one of those things. So it's that kind of weight, no? Just putting it frankly. At the same time, it's one of those projects where if you get it done right, it's something you can really be proud of, and that's the opportunity side of things. It's pretty robust for the time that it was built. But we all know how UG's members were. When they went through the tests, they had found that there were some areas that do need to be reinforced. Having said that, none of it really has failed over time, despite all that it's gone through, despite all the time. So while there are things to be reinforced, I don't think we're expecting much in terms of things that are much deeper or much larger. We've been able to control as much of that as possible.